Hello and welcome back to the Vengeful Empire Star Wars The Old Republic show. Today we'll be talking about Deception Assassin, specifically in PvE environments. The rotation that we'll be talking about will be viable in PvP as well, but you'll have to have more situational awareness on that. The rotation for Deception Assassin is a pretty strong parsing spec. If you follow the rotation well and have that awareness throughout your operation or PvP or Flashpoint or whatever it is you may be doing, you'll be able to parse pretty good numbers despite whatever gear you might be in. I know myself, I'm in PvP gear on this character right now, so my parse will probably be a little bit lower, but it will be able to show that despite what gear you're in, if you're playing Deception correctly, you'll still be able to parse pretty strong numbers.
Alright, so getting into the rotation, it's not really rotation, it's a priority system. So you're going to basically go off of procs. So on my bars down here, abilities you want to be watching: Discharge, Ball Lightning, and Maul is down here. So basically you're going to, in essence, spam Voltic Slash until you get procs. Your most important one being Discharge. You want to use when this builds 3 stacks and it procs, you want to use that before using any other ability, because the other abilities build stacks for this. In a PvE environment, I don't really see much use for low slash, so I would avoid it altogether and switch out for Voltic Slash.
Yeah, you're not gonna stun or low slash your hateful entity or whatever you might be fighting. Just, you know, if you're fighting ads or whatever and need to stun, go ahead and drop it in there, but really it's not that big of a priority.
So before we get into smashing this dummy, as you can see, Titan is in PvP gear, and my own gear is just 208 vendor stuff, 192s, 186s, pretty bad.
So we're in pretty bad gear, but despite this, we should be able to parse okay numbers with this spec, and you'll be able to see that in Star Parse, which is on the right of our screens, and just compare what numbers we're throwing out there.
So I'm going to go ahead and open up with Spike, which then should pop Maul, or proc Maul, and then I'm going to use Discharge before using Maul. So Spike, Discharge, Maul. And then I'm going to go in with Voltic Slash until I get procs on Ball Lightning, or procs on Maul, or procs on Discharge. So it's basically a priority system. Things you want to keep in mind: Recklessness and Phantom Stride will build 3 stacks of Discharge, so, or whatever it's called. So you want to use those when you don't have any stacks already, to maximize your damage and not waste time building stacks that you then use a Recklessness on.
One thing you do want to keep in mind while you're going through this, or whenever you're fighting a boss, while low slash, you know, isn't quite, you know, the ability you want to be using, it can proc Maul at times, so you might want to do that if you know it's going to proc.
Alright, so I'm going to head in here. I'm going to pop Recklessness before going in, and then I'm going to hit Spike, Discharge, Maul, and as you can see that was a 7k opener, and then Ball Lightning shows up. Back to this, Voltic Slash until there's a Maul proc, Ball Lightning, Discharge. I'm going to Phantom Stride and use a second Discharge right there, back to back. And then you're just going until you get procs, and you want to use Discharge, Ball Lightning, and then Maul in order of priority, because Maul has no cooldown, so you want to get Ball Lightning ticking, and you want to use Discharge before anything else, because you don't want to build stacks for no reason. Energy management as a
it's a bit tricky.
Assassin, it's like tricky at first, because you can see here I'm just sitting here with like no energy, but you have the fastest regen rate of any class, and it doesn't slow down the lower you get. So as you're going to want to just Saber Strike and not waste a global cooldown if you get too low. So we'll try and get into a situation here where, see, like right now I have no choice but to waste a global cooldown, in that section, hit Saber Strike, so you're not wasting the gold cooldown, and then you're just kind of building up some extra energy there.
And over here on Star Parts, you can see that my DPS is going down as I'm passing up to 600k for this short parts, but that's partly because of energy management, so always keep aware of that. But for the first, 4 or 5 minutes of your fight, even in really poor gear like me, you should be able to parse easily, around mid 4,000 per second.
Well, as an assassin, you really don't have, like, your energy management, with the exception of the opener, is really the same throughout the entire fight. You're just throwing in a Saber Strike when you need to regain your energy.
Yeah.
And then you get back into the priority system. And that's all there is to it. It's really easy rotation.
It's all about hitting the stuff that shows up and glows on your bar or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
So discharge, maul, and ball lightning are the main ones that you gotta look out for.
And be sure to hit them like priority port first. So discharge before ball lightning and maul, and ball lightning before maul. And then your filler is Voltic Slash. If you run out of energy, throw in a Saber Strike. And throw in Recklessness and Phantom Stride when you need to. And that's it for the rotation. You see there, during the fight I was over 4k that entire time. Only 2 minutes, but it's definitely viable and easy to do if you just follow that simple priority list.
Alright, now after we've got that priority system down, let's go ahead and talk about raid awareness as a deception assassin. Throughout any operation or boss fight or whatever you may be doing, raid awareness is always important, despite your class. As an assassin, as a melee class, it's a little bit more difficult and you have to pay a little bit more attention than maybe a sniper or a merc or whatever, but it's definitely something that's doable and will really help your operation group. The given kind of rule is, in any operation or any fight, the DPS should stand behind the boss, just so if there's a cleave or whatever there may be that the boss is putting out towards the operation group, you're not taking part of that cleave, and it makes the job on the healers a lot easier.
And you have to be able to maul.
Right, and you have to be able to maul anyway, so you should always plan on standing behind the boss, whatever operation, whatever boss you're in. Besides that, obviously don't stand in puddles, don't stand in red circles that look like it's going to put damage on you. That's one of the things that causes the most wipes, for sure, in any operation, is just people not being aware of where they're standing. And as a melee class, you really need to focus and maybe move around towards the side a little bit every once in a while throughout the fight. Other than that, as a deception assassin, a lot of fights have cleanses that need to be cleansed almost right away. And you need to focus on that, just because as a healer it can be difficult to cleanse everyone. Sometimes there's miscommunications where both healers or all 4 healers cleanse the same target, which could be a problem. And so as an assassin, if you use Force Shroud at that certain time, so I know Deathmark and Hateful Entity, if you use it right when it's about ready to drop on you, then that'll make the job on the healer a lot easier. So just be aware of, cleanses, of puddles, and of always standing in the right place behind the boss. I think that's about it. It's pretty simple. Just be aware of where you're standing throughout any operation.
So, in conclusion, to wrap this up, Deception Assassin, definitely one of the easier classes to play. It's like a 5-button rotation / priority list, and definitely a very fun and very valuable class for PVE. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
We'll see you next time on the Vengeful Empire, Star Wars: The Old Republic show.
Thanks for watching.